of Select Sires, I want to welcome each of you. My name is Brandon Tessing. I work for Minnesota Select Sires, and I work very closely with the Johnson family of Trailside Holsteins. We are excited to introduce you to Trailside and the family behind it. To begin, we'd like to share a short overview of the dairy.
Nestled in the beautiful rolling hills of the historic Bluff Country in southeastern Minnesota, near the small town of Fountain, lies Trailside Holsteins, LLC, a family operation owned and operated by John Johnson, his son Mike, and daughter-in-law Margaret. Just outside the dairy runs the 43-mile, fully paved, multiple-use Root River State Trail. The trail starts in Fountain and goes right by the dairy, allowing the Johnsons to be ambassadors and advocates of the dairy industry every day of the year. This is a role they take seriously and embrace fully. They host farm tours and community milk run to raise funds for the local school milk break program, as well as taking the dairy to the classroom. In addition, they serve on regional and state dairy boards. Currently, the Johnsons milk 500 registered Holsteins 3 times a day in a double-8 parallel parlor, with a rolling herd average of 32,300 pounds of milk. They harvest high-quality forages and grain on the 1,300-acre farm. It all began in 1977 when John purchased the home farm, owning just 6 cows. The dairy has grown ever since. In 1996, the first freestall barn was built, and the herd increased from 70 to 190 cows. With a long-term plan in place, the Johnsons have expanded in cow numbers and infrastructure every 4 years since then. After graduating from college in 2009, Mike returned home to farm with his dad. 2 years later, Mike married the love of his life, Margaret, at the farm. Trailside is committed to producing wholesome, nutritious, quality dairy products from healthy cows. The Johnsons are devoted to caring for the cattle, the land, environment, the community, employees, family, and ensuring that there are farming opportunities for generations to come. Their passion is evident in everything they do. Cow comfort is a major focus at Trailside. To help the cows stay cool and comfortable during the hot summer months, there are temperature-controlled water sprinklers over feed alleys, misters in the holding area, and fans over all the free stalls. Cows are housed in sand-bedded free stalls. The original design of the free stalls in 1996 included mattresses. John took a step back and evaluated their situation. Road work had just been completed, exposing a sand bluff right across the road. John decided to capitalize on this on-farm resource and became a pioneer in sand bedding and has used it ever since. This is just one example of being an early adopter of new technologies. Another example of implementing technology on the dairy is the Cow Manager monitoring system. In January 2015, Cow Manager was installed to monitor individual cow health, rumen function, and temperature in real time 24/7. Identifying sick cows earlier has resulted in faster recovery and the opportunity to use more supportive medications and less antibiotics. In addition, Cow Manager is utilized for improving reproductive performance. Hormone shots and related costs have been reduced. Catching more cows in heat and breeding them at the optimal time to create a pregnancy allows the Johnsons to capitalize on genetics from select sires. John is a firm believer that quality feedstuffs is one of the most important keys to healthy cows. Extra care is taken during harvesting and storage to create a consistently high-quality product. A key component for the efficient harvest of high-moisture feedstuffs is utilizing a truck that unloads onto a continually moving apron into the 12-foot ag bagger. With deep respect for the land and the natural resources, the Johnsons care and protect them for future generations at the farm and in the community. Contour strip farming, crop rotation, and minimal tillage are practiced to ensure quality, fertile soil. A manure management plan is updated yearly to utilize this natural fertilizer. With a tradition of building their business on innovative, modern ideas and cutting-edge technology, Trailside focuses on taking care of the cows, the people that work with them, the community, the environment, and of course, family. Their mission statement sums it all up: to efficiently sustain high production of a quality product and maintain healthy animals while providing a profitable and enjoyable lifestyle for all involved.
Now I'd like to introduce you to the family, and I'm going to see if I can get a little help from the next generation of Trailside Holsteins. Yeah, my motto today as well, I understand.
Can you turn around? Can you introduce Grandpa? Say, what's your grandpa's name? What's your grandpa's name? John. Okay. We'll let Brandon take over.
That's all right. So with us today from Trailside Holsteins is John and Sharon, Michael, Margaret, Sawyer, and Levi. So thank you guys, and now I'll turn it over to Mike and the Johnson family. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Brandon, and thank you to Select Sires for sponsoring us and featuring our farm this year. And on behalf of myself, my wife Margaret, my dad John, and our families, and all of our employees and everybody back home, we'd like to welcome you to Trailside Holsteins. We're excited to share our story and our passion and the values we have in the product that we produce. And thank you all for coming too. This is it's been a humbling experience, and it's great to see so many people interested in our operation. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand throughout. We'd like to keep it a little more interactive. If you're like me, usually you get to the end and then you forget your question. So when it comes up, feel free, because we've been to a lot of these and we all learn from each other. So we would like to help each other out and keep it interactive. So with that, we'll start the show. I guess I already advanced once. So this is a view of our dairy from the road, or the bike trail and road cross right by our driveway. And we're located in Fountain, Minnesota, which is pretty in the far southeast corner. We got up early this morning. It's about a 3.5-hour drive here. Beautiful rolling hill area like the video explained, and we really enjoy our rolling bluffs and hills and woodlands, and I feel it's a great place to have a dairy farm. Our mission statement's kind of a good show of our core values, and it's something that we focused on quite a bit when we were working on our succession plan and who we really are and what we wanted to be. So as I said, to sustain high production and a quality product, take care of all of our animals, and have a profitable and enjoyable lifestyle for everybody that's involved, including us, our employees, people that we work with, consultants, and everybody that is involved in any facet of our operation. Oops. And with that, I'll give it over to my dad, John, to talk a little bit about our history and our roots and how we got to where we are today.
You want me to have that? Or are you going to switch it? Well, it's quite an honor for a simple dairy farmer to be up here. It's hard to believe 37 years ago about. I did come to this farm with 6 cows, and ever since then we've been kind of changing a little bit at a time. Milk production's always been the number one thing for us. So, but in '96, we was looking at what to do. I had a extension agent from Winona, Minnesota, coming down, and I was looking out the back of the 40 cow tall sty barn, and I asked him, what should we do? And he looked up on the flat place above my barn. He just came back from California, and he said, build a freestall barn. So that's kind of where it all started. With our 40 cow barn, we put in a 8 pit parlor, and we still got that parlor. I call it my Chevy parlor. It's not a Cadillac. As Mike will talk later, we've made some advancements, improvements to it, but it was built in the machine shop, and it was cheaper than the step-up stalls I was looking at the time. So in '96, we built the first barn, and we had designed it for 140 cows, and before it was done, it was up to 190 cows. And then 2000, the government guy came out one morning, and the snow was melting, and we were spreading manure at the time, and he could tell that it wasn't a good deal, as we all probably know. So at that time, we started working with the guy to put in a manure system, and luckily he lives two miles from us, and he's got a lot of them out, but it's a 2-stage system. There's no pumps, no mechanical at all, except for the pump to get it out of the pit of the parlor and a pump in the milk house. It's all gravity flow. The water seeps off our manure system, and well, I'll show you that later, but anyway. So in 2009, Mike graduated from college and came back home with interest in the cows, and he's done a tremendous job. Then Mike and Margaret got married. In 2011, we built another barn, and we're currently at about 500 cows and 500 heifers. So kind of got off a little bit there. That's the original farm. So all that's left right now is the brick barn on the left side of the silo, I guess. And the back hay shed behind the silo is still part of the one big freestall barn. We changed that into a 3-row barn before we tore it down for a few years. So. But that's 2 different years pictures. I guess you can still see the advancement from the one on the left in 2008. So this is what it's looking like today. The top row is a 4-row. The middle barn is our 6-row barn. And the one on the right is our transition barn. And that was designed originally with half compost for the dry cows, and then we have calving pens. But after 2 years of trying to keep 60 cows dry, we put in sand stalls in there too. And it's been a wonderful barn and great way to handle the cows. So, is that it? Go ahead.
So we do take a lot of pride in producing a quality product.
Yeah.
And here's one of our key employees, Bruno, that helps me a lot with mastitis detection and treatment. And my dad accepting an award for quality milk and production. And this is a picture of our 888 parlor. As Dad mentioned, we did make some upgrades in 2012. We were looking pretty seriously at building a new parlor. And after penciling everything out and designing, we decided that sticking a little money into this and milking this one a little longer was the way to go. It's done a good job for us. It works. Like you said, it's not fancy, but we get 5 turns an hour, 80 cows through, and it's done good. When we did the upgrade, we also went to utilize RFID technology. So we've got an all-purpose reader that the cows walk by when they're going into the parlor. And with that, we got flow rates, milking time, as much data as you could want that goes directly to the computer. And so I utilize that for training of the milkers, talking about prep procedure. As far as maintenance of the equipment, you can watch on flow rates how things change. You really pick up a lot. The cows will tell you a lot with that information, how things are going. And we test monthly through DHIA and utilize that information a lot. We use Dairy Comp 305, and I don't know what we'd do without it. And I also have Pocket Cow Card that I have all the Dairy Comp information on my phone, so that has been very, very useful. And this is a picture of our milk hauler Travis and his son AJ that's often with him, and it's actually helped this summer, helped on the farm a little bit some. So like I said here, it's a culmination of a hard day's work, is seeing that milk truck backed up to the barn and loading our milk. And that's very true every day when that goes out the driveway. It's a lot of pride, and we really take a lot of pride in, I guess, the quality product. As Dad said, milk production's kind of been our focus or driver through the years, and with that, cow comfort is number one. The cows are number one on our agenda. With that, we take care of them. We got fans over all the cows. We've added some. Seems like every year we're adding fans somewhere. We've got sprinklers over all of the headlocks that are controlled by thermostat, and it increase as it gets hotter with frequency and duration. We added brushes for the cows 3 or 4 years ago, and those are really interesting. The cows really do use those a lot, and I think it helps. We've also done upgrades. We upgraded our free stalls here this past winter in one barn, just to accommodate for the larger cows that we have now. And as the video said, a story of the sand, and it is like we have like a bluff sand or a frac sand is really fine, so you're not able to separate it, but it's good, clean sand that the cows really enjoy laying in. So we do groom the stalls every milking and add sand weekly. This is our four-row barn. We did upgrade our lighting a year and a half ago as well, so this is actually an old picture with the old lighting. And those are on timers as well as photo eye as well. Here's a picture in the top left of my dad and a few employees that replacing the free stalls in one barn. With that, I'll give it back to my dad to talk about forages.
You keep it, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can say anything you guys don't know, but biggest thing about alfalfa is this year we did get 5 crops. We start early. Our first crop haylage this year is just short of 26% and 200 relative feed value. And with crops like that, it's a lot easier to make milk. But corn silage, we feed about 2/3 haylage, 1/3 corn silage. We work with a feed consultant to balance it all out. But we've been using Roundup Ready alfalfa for the last 3 years. And I can't say that I've used the Roundup part of it so much as the quality of this alfalfa has been tremendous in growth. We use it mainly the Roundup as we do all direct seeding, but we do our own forage harvesting. We do some custom, but with the acres we've got, I've just found it was easier to do our own. We get it done on time, and so it's nothing new to see the trucks are nothing fancy, but they do the job and get us through it. So, and I left. My brother is left on the left, and another employee, Leo. We do use a 12-foot truck bagger from Ag Bag. It's fast. When we get done, with the haylage, I still think it's a better product than a bunker for myself. Just saying. And we're done. We're done. We're not carrying tires, but it keeps really good for us. So, and we use payloader to feed out. But on the left, you can see on the new one here, there's 2 bunkers. We use our silo bags as bunker sides just to kind of cram more into the space we got. As we are nestled in next to this bike trail, we are out of room. So we get everything packed in as close as we can. There's 300 loads of corn silage in them 2 tired piles there. So, and the DMR ingredients, we feed cottonseed, corn gluten pellets, and then we get a protein mix. And right now we're feeding dry shelled corn before our earlage is fermented enough to use, as we ran out. And our corn got so dry we had to quit yesterday, so we'll be buying or using dry corn again next year. But I've been in the same feed consultant, Nelson Dairy, I guess, for 30 years. Never strayed away from it. It makes life pretty easy. They're a good company for us. They've had the right ideas, and it's worked out. They do all our heifers, all our calves, and the dairy cows. We do try to contract or cotton or gluten pellets. For the most part, I've done pretty good of that. So that's yours.
Sorry, I should have gave a little disclaimer. If you got a little noise up here, it's our little kids, but that's just like every day on the farm. My wife is on the farm quite a bit, so we have the kids around, so it's kind of normal for us. But and as the picture of the farm showed, he said we're kind of nestled in there, so we're the road's on one side, the property line, and the bike trail, so we're kind of out of room, so we've made it work and fit into our little triangle there, but we make it work and put a little feed everywhere we can. So I'll go now and talk a little bit about the calf health and the cows. As it all starts here, and that is the truth, and we firmly believe that. When I built the new transition barn in 2011, we added a warm room on the end of it, as we call it, for the calves that they get moved into there as soon as they're born, where we can process them, as we call, dry them off, clean them, dip navels, vaccinate them, and then they're given colostrum from their mom within an hour of birth. That's the goal anyway. That's one of my main employees, taking care of a calf. And from the warm room, they go into calf hutches where we keep them for about 2 months. And we do feed 3 times a day, year-round, and use a pasteurizer. And we also have been using an additive balancer in there for the last 2 to 3 months, and it's been going really good. Healthy calves it's a lot easier to work with them when they're healthy and everything's going good. So we take a lot of work, cleanliness, consistency, and really focus on that with employee training and trying to make sure everybody's doing the right job, doing a good job every time, every day. So we milk almost around the clock, so there's only a couple hours in between each milking. So there's somebody that checks the calving area every 30 to 40 minutes to keep an eye on those cows as they're calving. From the calf huts, they go to group pens of 6, and then from there they go to over to where I live, and then then gradually grew to group 12, and then groups of 20 in a monoslope barn. And from there we we have 3 different satellite farms that we move them around, so our cattle load really good, but it's kind of a consequence of having to move them a lot. So that's one of our goals for the future, is to upgrade our heifer facilities. But right now we move them around to make things work and keep them all on pasture as much as we can in the summer. We have a lot of pasture in our area, so we try to utilize that as the best that we can. With herd health, every week we do herd check with our veterinarian, Dr. John Ryan. And we do have a little video clip here that we got of him, so we can show that now.
Hi, my name is Dr. John Ryan. I work at the Harmony and Cresco Veterinary Clinics in Harmony, Minnesota. And I've been working with Mike Johnson here at Trailside and his dad, John, for a number of years now. And it's always a pleasure working with them. They have a great herd of cows. Cow comfort and cow health especially are an extremely high priority here. And it shows in their production. Mike is always wanting to be on the cutting edge of technology and on the cusp of new things that are coming out. So he challenges me to bring things to the table that I think can influence the herd and help him in his operation. And I challenge him to try to get the things done in his busy schedule that allow the cows to be as productive as they could possibly be. They're busy on the crop side of things. It's a multifaceted operation that has a lot of employees, a lot of things going on, but the farm still centers around the cows. That's what brings home the money for them, and that's what's the number one priority of the farm. And so it's just been a great pleasure working with them. Mike is young and very ambitious, and so I look forward to lots of very productive years working with them down the road.
As Dr. Ryan said, we do bounce ideas off each other. I kind of use that every week, couple hours of herd health to kind of as a meeting. We're always talking, bouncing ideas, looking new ideas. We did try it. We started a new vaccine 9 months ago with utilizing the cow manager. We've been trying to tweak our herd health, and so we're always looking, or our repro programs. We're always looking at what we need to do next, what we need to do to keep improving. So it's been a good partnership, and and with that, a very important part of our herd health right as of in the last year is a cow manager program. I'll start with a few basics and then talk a little more on how it's helped us on our individual farm. But it's a continuous herd monitoring system, has a microchip combined in with an ear tag that goes on each cow. And there's a few different modules. For our farm, we chose to go with 2 modules, the fertility and the health module. The whole system's comprised of the sensor tag, a router, a coordinator, your computer, and then a mobile device, a phone or tablet if you desire. And one important thing is internet connection and having a good, solid one. That is one hiccup that we had at the beginning. We were having, I was kicking out once in a while, and it ended up just being our internet connection was the middle of the night having upload things, and that would kick the system out. So getting those little glitches out, which Select Sires and Brandon Testing introduced at the beginning in particular, were really good to work with and stuck with us and helped us through that. And it was made what could have been a tough situation, and it went really good. So, and there's a 5-year warranty on the tag. So this is a picture in our barn of one of our routers. We have 2 routers on our farm, one in each barn, and I think they have a 500-foot range. And I haven't had any issues. I've actually put them in pens further away, thinking that they wouldn't get them when I didn't need them, but they still pick them up. So the range has been really good, and we haven't had any issues with any of the parts of it. So, as I said, January 2015 is when we kind of made the big leap. We put the first tags actually in November as kind of a trial. It was actually at Expo last year when I first learned about them, and we had been kind of looking at heat detection and what we needed to do. And rumination always intrigued me. We already had the RFID tags for the parlor, so I was like, oh, this seems like maybe it'd be a good fit. So started looking at it. The startup cost was affordable and was a good way to give it a try. And I was pretty skeptical at first. I was like, no way, ear tags, no way this is going to work. But so we did the trial for a couple months, and I guess we were impressed and decided to take a leap and invest in the whole herd. So, and it's a goal to increase heat detection and reduce hormone usage, but that's been the main. There's been a lot of secondary benefits along the way. For the first module, is fertility, is the activity for heat detection, the stage of heat cycle, kind of helps me decide when the optimal time to breed the cow is. The labor savings has been huge. We were chail talking, we're able to eliminate that, and then just that the cow's out there 24/7. We can only be doing all of our own crops, and seems like we're running around all the time trying to do everything. So with having somebody watching each individual cow all the time is invaluable. The health module, it records the eating time and rumination time. So this has helped me with earlier intervention of sick cows, which, if you get those cows treated faster, there's more likely chance that they're going to recover, and I have seen that. I have any unusual behavior. Sometimes cows, you don't think there's a problem, and you go look at the cow, she looks fine, and sure enough, the next day something comes up. And this has been really good. That as the longer and longer I've used the system, my confidence in it has just gone up and up. And I'll call the vet for a cow if I know she's one that's possibly going to have a DA, and then I see her. Then I come out to the barn, look at the computer, and oh yeah, that cow had a DA. Or breeding cows, I just get the semen and go breed the cow without going and checking the cow or anything. And combining the two modules for me has probably been one of the bigger benefits. For heat detection, I actually look at the rumination first a lot of times because that'll tell me more if she's actually in heat or not, is because the eating time increases and the rumination time decreases. So it's been a really good, if I see a cow, she's got great activity, go look at that, and it's not as selling, I'll go investigate a little further and look into the cow and go check her before I decide to breed her. On our way here this morning, I actually called and had the breeder go breed one off of this, and I had to treat a fresh cow that her rumination time wasn't going up quite as much, so I mean, didn't have to be at the farm and was still able to keep an eye on them, which is important as our farm grows. You know, being able to provide that one-on-one or individual cow care is important to us. And my wife and I were fortunate enough, we were on a vacation here just a couple weeks ago, and so the ear tags were still working, and actually Select Sires took care of my breeding for me, and so they were just able to go onto the program and look up the cows, and we were able to utilize the technology and feel comfortable and confident when we were away, our cows were still being taken care of. And it has improved our herd pregnancy rates and days of milk, and we're getting them bred faster and getting them rebred faster, so that's helping out for all of our other numbers. Having it automatically goes to the computer, and then it goes directly to my phone, and it updates every 15 minutes. And being able to, on the video, I had a picture of me out in the barn walking through the cows, and that's a daily occurrence several times a day, which I'm already tied to your phone enough, but the convenience of it is amazing. And being able to, you see a cow, you're like, oh, she looks a little off. You look her up, and oh, she's fine. She was eating the whole last hour. She's just taking a break right now. And so it's been really good. And be able to have that information right out there, not have to walk back to the barn, come back out, try to find that cow again. It's been really valuable for me. Sometimes the first couple months were difficult, I guess, trying to learn the system, train it, and then you're always, oh, a cow's sick, and the stress of that, you're like, oh, I need to go over and check on her. So I've adapted to, not look at it all the time, try to, a couple times a day to check, on all the cows. And another important thing that's always been a value of ours, I guess, is good genetics. It's something my dad started using AI as soon as it was available, and I'm very thankful for that. So we've always used the best sires, the top 1% that we can get on our farm. I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, started using genomics and pretty much 100% genomic sires now. And we do utilize mating. Select Sires does our matings for us, and we utilize that very good. Kim DeFrang does that and does a great job. This is a picture of one of our favorite cows, I guess right now, an aftershock cow. But we have a barn full of cows that are just good, strong, big cows that genetics has played a good role in getting them there. So. And I'll give it back to my dad to talk a little bit about our manure system more and our taking care of the environment.
This is our simple manure system. Everything is pushed out over the wall. Skid loader, it's a skid loader brake, so another one, that's the only piece of equipment we use. I don't know if you can see in front of the payloader, you can see a row of screens up there. It's a slow weeping system, so the water comes to the top of any manure problem, manure pile,
So these guys work really hard throughout the year, and so then I get kind of the fun job, and I get kind of to advertise that in a lot of different ways. John has set a really good example for us and for others to be involved in the industry. He has served on many different boards. He's currently on our DHIA board, and Michael and I are serving as the chair of our American Dairy Association board in our county. So John has set a good example for us, so we want to try to pass on that good example to our children, and that's why it's just been really important for us to be good mentors to others and set a good example for our kids to be good members of the community, good neighbors. We try to make people aware when we're going to haul manure or do it on the weekends. We have a campground nearby, so we try to do it during the week, so when people are camping there, we're not hauling manure and they're not complaining about the smell or the traffic or anything like that. So like I mentioned, we're part of the American Dairy Association in our county, and so we do a lot of promotion events through that. I also serve as the Princess Coordinator in our county, so I organize events and line up different promotional events for our dairy princesses, particularly in the month of June. So in these pictures, we have a float in the top right there. We do about almost 10 parades just throughout the county that our dairy princesses are in. We have a ambassador program for younger children to participate in. We hand out string cheese during those parades, and the kids really enjoy doing that. They also get to serve a lot of ice cream. Our county has its own malt stand, so we spend a lot of time in that malt stand. I keep telling people that it's bad when your kids think you own the malt stand because you've spent so much time in it this year. But being on the ADA board has really been a good experience for us. It's been a lot of work. You don't get a lot of recognition for it, but you're out there firsthand promoting your product, and you can also promote your farm and the activities that you're on. People are seeing you, and it's been a good experience. We also volunteer our time. We've worked in the moo booth at the Minnesota State Fair and the all-you-can-drink milk booth at the State Fair. John and Sharon have worked in the malt stand at our county fair and just different events. They're always willing to help out. We're always open to farm tours. We've had several very interesting groups. A Boy Scout troop has come to our farm almost every year, which they always have really interesting, really, really good questions. They're from the metro area, I believe, and they've just been filled with questions. And like Mike said and John said, we're right along the Root River Bike Trail. So once in a while, we will have people just stop on the bike trail. We're active in running and using the bike trail for our own pleasure. And it's interesting to stop and talk to people and see if they have questions. And so then hopefully we can be on the front end of answering some of those questions about our farm or dairy farming in general. The bike trail goes right in between our cropland and our manure pit, so there are plenty of questions about the big dirty pond there, but it gives us an opportunity. It opens a door for us to have that conversation with them. So not only are we promoting the industry in our farm and our county, we're ambassadors throughout. Mike is part of the YDLI program right now. Him and John have served on co-op boards, and Mike has been in cooperative leader programs. He tries to take advantage of all those different opportunities. Like I mentioned, we're part of the Team Dairy Runners organization, which is part of the Midwest Dairy Association organization. And so we have Team Dairy shirts that we'll wear to local races, just kind of as an advertisement to promote drinking chocolate milk and consuming dairy products as a healthy snack. Farm visits is something that we enjoy doing. There's a picture of us in our nephew's preschool classroom, which we did last winter, I believe, which was a really great experience to share our story to some younger kids who are so enthusiastic about dairy products and farming. They're so willing to tell you what they know about farming, and then you can kind of get in your message, too, of this is what happens on our farm. And we always invite them out to come and visit if they'd like to. Other things that we've done on our farm is we have Dairy Night on the Farm in our county, and we have hosted that twice. which is just a community event where the American Dairy Association serves a meal, and you can come and tour the farm. They have different activities set up for kids, and it's just kind of a big family night out on a dairy farm. Mike has participated in Dairy Day at the Capitol in the Twin Cities. We've had community appreciation nights, and that's been we just invite our neighbors and anybody that we work with throughout the year and have a picnic, and there's a picture of us doing that, and it's just a good social event. It's nice to have the shop to have it in now, because it's when the weather is nice, we're usually busy with other things. So I think this one was held in November. We also try to be active on social media. We have a Facebook page that we post things to. There's always cute pictures of kids. We think they're cute pictures of our kids that we can post on there, which inspire a conversation also. A few years ago in our community, we noticed that there was a need for funding at the local elementary school for their milk break. And we, as parents, and just were very interested in helping out this cause. And so Mike has always been interested in running, and he decided to organize it wasn't a 5K, it was a 2.5-mile run from the beginning of the trail that was pictured in that movie to the farm. And the finish line was right in front of our shop. Here we are standing next to that finish line with the winners of the first year when we had that run. We had about 100 people our first year and raised about $2,500, and it all went directly just to the milk portion of snack break at the local schools. So we felt really good about what we were doing there, and it also gave us, again, that opportunity to tell our story, tell our dairy story, and talk about what we do and the work that Mike and John do every day throughout the year. Another thing that I would like to mention that we have done in our community is we've donated dairy products to our food shelf. There's a huge need for it, even just in these small areas. You don't necessarily think that it would be your community, but oftentimes it is. Last year we donated dairy products at Christmas time to the food shelf, which was really appreciated, and we enjoyed doing that and being a part of the community. Our employees also, we encourage them to be good community members. Throughout the year, the summer in particular, they have a soccer event every Sunday night. So lots of our employees will go down there and be part of the community and interact with other people in the community that are interested in playing soccer. So those are some of the things that we do. We like to treat our employees like we would like to be treated. We have Christmas parties. We have some fun events on the farm. Sometimes we'll just have pizza and we'll all get together and have pizza for the night. And just other appreciation events and things. Our farm is a team effort. We couldn't do it just by ourselves. So our employees are very important to us, as well as our children. Like Mike mentioned, you had maybe heard the little chatter, but that's every day for us. We have a family farm. We're proud of that, and we enjoy having the kids there every day. So I'll hand it back to Mike. He's going to talk a little more about employees.
Yeah, so she did a good job introducing to our team, our employees that are vital to us. They're all there working, doing the job right now, so we could be here. And we're confident that they're doing as good a job as we would be. And part of that is we do try to continue, here. These are a few pictures we recently took of our current team. And the people do make the difference, and that's very true, because we can only do so much as the people that we surround ourselves with that make the difference from one place to another. We're very proud of them. We do try to do monthly employee meetings and also quarterly training, different focuses. Sometimes there's a picture here where we're focusing on calf health or newborn calf health. We've done other ones on milker training every so often. It's just like everybody, we need to be retrained every once in a while. You start to stray from what you're used to doing. So we do try to focus on that, and so everybody's confident in the job that they're doing. This is a quote that my dad had. It's a dairy farm is a beautiful place to raise a family and enjoy nature at its finest. And that is a really good quote, and I think it fits us well. So a few pictures from around our farm. And I guess I'd focus as far as our legacy and passing it on to the next generation and being able to, we've had a great opportunity, Margaret and I, and we take a lot of pride and take it very seriously of trying to provide that opportunity to our kids. And so they, well, hopefully we'll see. But and there's a picture of here with deer, and I should have one up here for fish. We like to try to get off the farm and enjoy have some hobbies. I think that's important too, to get off and do different things and take a break once in a while. Attend events like this, get a different perspective. Sometimes you get in a rut or just you're seeing the same thing every day. It's really, we feel it's important to engage in other activities and see other things once in a while. And with that, here's a Christmas picture. Snow will soon be here, so we thought we'd get you all prepared for it. But I'd like to thank you, and I guess nobody had any questions during, but we'd love to have some now. I'd like to particularly thank Lois Leggett. She did a lot of this work and helped us out, took a lot of the pictures in preparing this, so thanks to her. What did you say, Margaret? Oh. Any questions for Margaret or my dad, John, or myself? Yep. Do you want to bring the mic back there for him? Stand up.
Do you use the same kind of ventilation fans throughout your barns?
We in our freestall barns, the 4 and the 6 row barn, we just have what do you call it? Basket fans, 54-inch fans. And then in our new transition barn, we did go with the big ass fans, so we have 2 of them in there.
Overhead?
Yep.
Okay.
So and that's it's worked well in that barn for the size of it. It just fit in there better. And for energy needs, we're kind of maxed out, so it worked out well. Do you have a question over here?
I have 2 questions. Can you describe how you go from freshening and post-freshening group on all the way to group changes till you dry them off, and the stocking density for freestalls and home space?
Sure. The question, if you didn't hear, the pen moves how we go from dry cows freshening and through the herd, and then also stocking density. So we dry cows are 55 days, 60 days for 2-year-olds. They get moved to the transition barn on they get a diet, and then at 21 days pre-fresh, they go to a straw diet, anionic salts, and they're on the Bedipec then from 21 days till calving. And at this time, they also get a vaccination, a few other things. And then when they calve, they move to a fresh cow pen into the barn, which is one thing I've been looking with the ear tags, possibly not having that post-fresh pen because you can kind of keep an eye on that cow without having to be able to go look at them having them separated. But for right now, they go into a pen there, and they stay in there for about, average about 14 days. And then they go to a milking group. And we separate our 2-year-olds and our 3-year-olds and higher at that point, so all the 2-year-olds are together. They go to a breeding group, and then for right now, they go to a late lactation or low production group because I can overcrowd that group a little more, and we're full. So I would like to maybe eliminate that pen move, but for right now, they go, when they're getting close to drying up, usually it's about 160 days carrying calf on average, they move to a late lactation group. We do have headlocks in all the pens besides the late lactation group. And stocking density, our fresh pen and our pre-fresh pen are usually, we try to keep them in that 80% range. Dry cows are about 100% bunk space, and probably with 3-row, they're 75 to 80% stalls. In our 4-row barn, we're about at 115%. Both stalls and bunk space is pretty similar. A little more in the bunk or the stalls, I guess, a little higher, but. And then in the 6-row barn, obviously we're about 120% in the bunk space, and then a little less in the stalls, about 110%. We found, I've kind of played with that, different group sizes. or different crowding, overcrowding, and kind of like all the data you see, I haven't seen any difference up to 120% or so. When we understock them, we think they're always going to go up, and usually we don't see a big difference. Good question, and right here.
Did you see a substantial increase in your calf growth when you started doing the additive to your home milk?
It's a fairly new, the balancer you're referring to? Yeah, it's a fairly new, we just started using it about 3 months ago, and we did just weigh calves actually on Thursday, and we have seen a measurable difference. So, and just the looks of them and everything. Yeah, I think so far it's been a positive change. So. Anybody else? Yep.
Just make comment on the reason for your 4-row and 6-row. Which one's more recent? Any special reason why?
Are you on?
Building. So the 6-row came about because of the 3-row barn that I turned that hay shed into. But the way it's all worked out, you'd never know it other than that the posts are still there. And I wouldn't build another 6-row, at least for us. We don't have enough breeze, I don't think, for a 6-row because we are under a hill kind of. But the 4-row is definitely our best barn. The 2-year-olds do good in the 3-row barn. I mean, or the 6-row. But I would definitely stay with a 4-row if we did it again. But with the sprinklers, the fans, the cows have done very well. We just have curtains that we roll up and down when we want. There's no automatic there, but so I guess that's the reason. So.
Good question.
Be quiet.
Anybody else have anything nagging? Somebody else might have the same question. All right, well, with that, from all of us, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike and John. If you have any further questions, they'll be up here, and then thanks for attending.